going on, everybody? Welcome to Cocktails in the War Room. I am your host, Mistress Carrie, and happy Cinco de Mayo. Sorry, I am in the middle of family drama that I need to tell you guys about because I'm sure this has happened to you as well. So first of all, if I'm showing up in your algorithm and this is new, if you're on Instagram, Twitch, YouTube, I'm Mistress Carrie. This is the War Room. It's been called the War Room in my house for a very long time. And during COVID, at the very beginning of COVID, we started getting together for Cocktails in the War Room. And we did it 80 nights in a row. And then we turned it into a weekly show when we launched the Mistress Carrie podcast and mistresscarrie.com. And I got back on the radio and all of these things. And now every Tuesday night at 8:30, we get together here in the War Room and we talk about music. We talk about life, the world. We've become a massive online support group. And also, in case you're wondering what all of these insane noises are, or in case you're very new to the War Room, Wednesday and Friday are fighting over a bottle of Tito's, which is what they do most times here in the War Room. So usually once the pugs get involved with the show, it goes completely off the rails. And because it's Cinco de Mayo, it's probably almost guaranteed to go off the rails. I'm trying something new today. I don't know if it's going to work. I think it's going to work. But since it is Cinco de Mayo, instead of vodka, tequila. Hold, please. It needs more lime, but not bad. I don't know what you call that, but we're giving it a shot tonight. So there's a lot going on, and I have family drama that I need you guys to weigh in on. So I got to say what's up to Ash and Keith. Let's see. Kev is joining us on Instagram. Brett, Carol, Donna, Travis, what's up? Double Horn, Sherry, and Mike. Also, Drake is here. Tracy, Bish is here. Okay. Have you guys, with your extended family now, I'm talking aunts, uncles, cousins, have you ever remembered something from your childhood? And I'm bringing this up because this text thread is happening in real time on my phone right now. Do you remember something from your childhood that everyone else in the family is telling you didn't happen? Or maybe you and your siblings remember something and your cousins are telling you it didn't happen? I'll give you the example that has got my family riled up right now. My mom's dad, my papa, that we have talked about, that was in the Navy, that fought in World War II. We lost my grandmother when I was young. I was like 12 years old when my grandmother passed away. And my sister and we spent a lot of time at our grandfather's house. And my sister and I have very distinct memories of a dog and a canary that my grandfather had as pets after my grandmother passed, we believe. And the family house, it was like a multi-family house. The family that lived upstairs from Papa remembers the dog and the bird. The family that lived next door does not remember the dog and the bird. At least the aunts don't. Some of the cousins, the older cousins, like myself, my sister, and some of the older cousins, swear we remember the breed of the dog. We remember the name of the dog. We remember where in the house the canary was in the cage. We have distinct memories. The younger cousins and the aunts are telling us it did not happen and that dog never existed and that the bird never existed. And we're like, how are we all having the same memory of the same dog, knowing what breed it is, knowing what the dog's name is? It all started last night because I was talking to Auntie Joan, who joins us here in the War Room a lot, who's been staying at the house. And we were talking about why dogs can't eat grapes. My grandfather, when I was a kid, had a dog. And he used to sit out on the back porch and eat the skin off the grapes so that the dog could eat the grapes because the dogs can't eat grapes because of the skin. And she was like, Papa never had a dog. And I was like, is she fucking with me? Papa had a dog. So I texted my sister and she's like, yeah, Papa absolutely had a dog. This is the breed. This is the name. And he had the bird too. And Auntie Joan was like, never had a dog, never had a bird. And then she calls her twin, my Auntie Jean, and she's like, Papa never had a dog. Papa never had a bird. And we're like, is somebody gaslighting us right now? How is this So now we are on a text thread with all of the aunts. So this is my mother's side of the family. All of the aunts and all of the cousins are all on a text thread for various family holiday planning reasons. And the aunts are swearing the dogs didn't exist. The older cousins, including myself, are like, the dog absolutely existed. And so did the bird. Other cousins remember. The older cousins are like, yeah, they're right. Papa did have a bird. Yes, they're right. Papa did have a dog. And the family is at odds. Has there been an argument in your family about a memory that you remember literally like it happened yesterday and you swear, gun to your head? I'm telling you right now, gun to my head, that dog existed. My sister would say the same thing. My older cousins are saying the same thing. And my aunts are going, it was our father. If our father had a dog, we would have known. And I'm like, good story. He had a dog. And the family, thank God this is not happening around the holidays, or we'd be throwing mashed potatoes and turkey legs around the house right now. But that is what's going on right now. I have been embroiled in this text thread for like the last half hour. And yeah. The dog existed. Betty says, running a little late tonight again. If you're talking about me, I know. I'm embroiled in this family drama. Let's see. Where's Wednesday and Friday? Oh, they're right here. Let me see. Yes, I saw my uncle skin a bunny alive. He said, no, it was already dead. Nope, said Carol. Yeah, like, these are core memories. Like, you remember them so vividly for a reason. What's up, Janine? Bish saying, say that to a woman who saves and remembers everything. Saying it, yeah, I do save everything and I do remember everything, and it does drive my husband crazy. So yes, my aunt said he was dead. Nope, saw him moving, says Carol, talking about the bunny. Draco says that's interesting. I remember my grandfather having a German Luger that he brought back from World War II. My cousins and myself saw it, but my uncles and aunts said he never had it. We have all seen it. It was a 9mm German Luger. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. And here's the sad part about getting older. And we have talked a lot about this stuff on the show over the last 6 years, right? It's these family stories. And we're sitting there last night, Auntie Joan and I, who's here in the war room, and we're arguing about the dog and the bird. And she says, we need to go ask your mother. Out of instinct, right? Because it just comes out. And then we both kind of looked at each other like, oh shit, we can't go ask my mom because she's not here. And Papa is not here because if he were, he'd be like, yeah, I had a dog. And yes, I used to eat the skin off the grapes and give it to the dog on the side porch because I remember him doing it. The family is going to blows. He had a dog. And he had a bird, and it's very important that you guys have my back on this because if my family explodes and Thanksgiving is canceled, I need you guys to have my back because my sister and two of my cousins are like, yes, it absolutely happened. And everybody else is like, you guys are smoking crack cocaine. And we're like, no, bro, we're not smoking crack. It absolutely happened. What's up, Brian? Jason says, sorry, I'm late. Stacy said something happened with the timeline in the past 10 to 15 years. Anything is possible in an endless universe. So many people are remembering different things. I will die on the Bernstein Bears Hill. That's the other thing, is that there's a lot of misremembering or people saying, yes, I remember that, and it didn't happen. Things like the Bernstein Bears. There were people that was like, there was no cornucopia on the Fruit of the Loom logo, like the underwear company. And people were like, there absolutely was. And people were like, no, there wasn't. Then somebody showed up, like somebody had a picture of it and proved that there was a Fruit of the Loom logo. Like you just remember like weird things. Bish says, Carrie, you remember and save everything. They are definitely fucking with you. No, Bish, they're not. Like they are legit saying the dog didn't exist. Now, am I open to the idea that the dog and the bird were there in a temporary state, like 6 months or something, but enough that all of the cousins remember them? We can describe the bird cage, where in the house it was. We know where the dog used to hang out, like dogs have that favorite spot where they used to lay. We all remember. How are the cousins remembering the same thing? It's freaking weird. Carol says, waving hi to Auntie. Jason said the Sox are up 10-3. Well, that's nice. Travis said no pictures or old bird cages, etc. So the family house has been gone for quite some time. I will tell you this. My grandfather had a very bad habit of not being a sentimental person and getting rid of stuff, even things that we wish he didn't get rid of. He was one of those people that would just get rid of stuff because the sentimental value of things, especially once members of the family passed, it was like everything was just gone. And so maybe that's why I am the way that I am and I save everything. I'm not a hoarder, but I do find sentimental value in a lot of things. Donna says, we got you, Carrie. Ralph says, hey, Carrie, Wednesday and Friday. Pray the firefighters stay safe fighting the 6-acre brush fire in the Randolph Blue Hills. Look, there was a fire. There have been a lot of fires today, actually. And with the high winds, it's kind of crazy. But there was a fire on the Leominster, Lancaster, Lunenburg line today off the highway. And there was a ton of smoke off of Route 2 this afternoon. Let's see. Okay, I'm trying to catch up with all of the comments here. Hold on. What's up, Kim? Bish says, sorry I'm late. No problem. Tracy says, good evening from UMass in Worcester. Just donated a kidney to my best friend of 40 years. Tracy, are you serious? You just gave an organ to a best friend? First of all, that's the most amazing thing I've ever heard. How unbelievable is it that I'm a huge advocate for organ donation. I have it on my license. And the idea that there are organs you can donate while you're still alive and that you can be in the hospital with that person in the bed next to them holding hands and you literally gifting them life, that's amazing. You freaking rock. That's unbelievable. Both of you guys, I hope you get well soon. And she has to be your best friend for life now because you can't repo a kidney. So I hope you guys are friends till death do you part because that's amazing. There's only certain people that I would do that to. The list is short, but there are people in this world that I would give a kidney to if I had to, or I don't know if you guys are registered with a bone marrow thing as well. I actually have a friend that registered with a bone marrow registry in college and 8 years later got a random notice in the mail that there was a match and they actually donated bone marrow to a complete stranger, which I thought was amazing. So I'm registered in a bone marrow registry as well. And it's one of those things where are you going to get the call that someday that you're a bone marrow match, which is kind of amazing. Shane says, opposite problem with my grandfather, complete hoarder. Look, there are those that were complete hoarders as well. Trust me, I get it. My mom was kind of like that, saved everything. I'm a little bit more organized with my system than my mom, especially, and it's a generational thing with the pictures in the shoe boxes, which I still have to go through. So many pictures, so many shoe boxes. Obviously, now the pictures are digital. It's a little bit easier to kind of keep them organized, although I could do a better job of organizing my photo archives because all of us have been those people with the iPhone scrolling randomly through years of our lives looking for a specific photo, but it does happen. Jamie says, hey, from Hampton, Virginia again. What's up? Carol says, can you donate if you had cancer? Carol, if you're looking for medical advice from the purple-haired DJ with the snoring pugs on the green couch in the war room, you are in the wrong place. That would be a question I would think for your cancer doctor or at least your primary care physician. I think it would depend on what kind of cancer and what kind of treatment you've had, I would guess. But I don't know. Will they let you donate blood? Look, if I was in renal failure and I needed a kidney and the only kidney I could get was yours, I'm taking your kidney and I'm just going to figure it out along the way. You're lucky I wouldn't be begging in a rest area somewhere for somebody to give me an organ. Like, Keith, not that kind of organ. I know where you're going. So anyway, we are embroiled in this family drama that I felt like I needed to drag you guys into because it's one of those things where we're all of this age, and you guys know that my sister and I have been working on these genealogy projects, trying to put the family kind of history together. And it's crazy that there are things that we remember. There are family members that went by nicknames. And so as we're researching the family, we're like, wait, that's not even the person's real name. No wonder we can't find them online because that's not even their real name. And you called them that like their whole life. What's up, Patrick? He says, hey, Carrie, good to see you. Good to see you too. Carol says you have to weigh 110 pounds. Carrie, donating an organ to a friend ends all future arguments. You look, if you're the organ donor, you win every argument. And you should not be paying for dinner, like ever. Like you get to pick where the vacations are. If you're going to be in the nursing home, you get the good bed by the window. If you give your friend a kidney, that's like do not pass go, do not collect 200. Like you win everything. Period. Forever. And the person receiving the kidney, I don't think is going to argue with that notion, like at all. Carol says to donate blood. Yes. Jessica says, I'm a blood donor and I donate my hair. That's amazing. Yeah. So that's the family drama that's going on around here. I will also tell you guys that I am waiting on Mr. C, who is on his way here. Hold on. I'm going to see how close he is right now. Like 35 minutes away-ish or so. So right around the end of the war room, Mr. C is going to walk through the door, which is awesome. We're going to see Alter Bridge and Filter and Tim Montana coming up on Sunday night at the House of Blues, which is just one of the many things we're going to be doing over the next week. So, all right. So that's what's going on with the family. The dogs are here snoring. It was 80 something degrees today, and the Celtics and the Bruins both got knocked out of the playoffs over the weekend. Did I get everything besides Cinco de Mayo and May the 4th be with you? And also with you. Let's see. Catch up with the comments. Bish says, my fiance says I'm an organ donor. That's lending. That's not donating. You're still maintaining ownership of said organ, Bish. I know what you mean. Keith says, I donate different bodily fluids. That's not a donation, Keith. I knew what you were going to say. All right. For anybody that is just finding me on Instagram or on Facebook or Twitch or YouTube, I want to let you guys know that, yes, you can still hear me on the radio every weekday from 10 to 3 on Charleston's Best Rock, 98 Rock. You can listen at my98rock.com from anywhere. You can also download the free 98 Rock app, and you can listen from anywhere as well. You can hear me every weekday afternoon on 100 FM The Pike in Massachusetts. You can download the free Pike app or listen at pikefm.com. Win Taking Back Sunday tickets on the show this week to see him at the Palladium Outdoors in Worcester on September 26th. And all of the big outdoor shows of the year, our Rockfest, Hairfest, and Grungefest, are all up on the concert and events calendar. They're all at Indian Ranch in Webster, Mass., happening this summer and into the fall. You can hear me every weekday afternoon on 106.3 The Bone in Portland, Maine. You can download the Bone app. You can stream the station at 1063thebone.com, and the $100,000 cash grab keywords, I've got them every weekday afternoon. And hear me every weekday mornings with Mistress Carrie on Laser 99.3 and 98.5. And it's Metallica. we are qualifying someone or somebody every day, 3 times a day, for a trip to Vegas to see Metallica at the Sphere. So I have a keyword in the 8 o'clock hour every weekday morning that will help you qualify for that trip for 2 to go to Vegas so you can see Metallica at the Sphere on October 8th. So I am going to tell you that the cocktail recipe, this isn't bad. Tequila and grapefruit juice or tequila and orange juice is also really good. But with ginger beer, it needs a lot of lime juice, not enough lime juice, but it needs a lot of lime juice. So that is your Cinco de Mayo cocktail recipe for today. Podcast recap. If you guys didn't hear last week's podcast episode, it's episode 308, not 307, with... Hold on one second. Let me fix that, and then I will toast to my mistake. Episode 308 with Everlast. If you guys didn't hear it yet, Embers to Ashes, his new album comes out in August. We got to the bottom of the Larry Bird Celtics jersey in the House of Pain jump around video. We talked about a lot of stuff, family stuff, the music at the supermarket. He's really cool. It's the first time he was on the podcast. I was super excited that he agreed to come on. So if you haven't checked it out yet, that was last week's podcast episode. This week's podcast episode, it's a thing. So the guys from NoFX have a new documentary that came out a couple of weeks ago called 40 Years of Fucking Up. And rather than release the documentary on streaming platforms, they are doing screenings. And they're doing screenings in Boston in May and June. And they're doing screenings all over the world. And Fat Mike from NoFX, who's right here with the blue hair, he is my guest this week on the podcast. We talked about the documentary. We talked about him being a dad. We talked about his relationship with the guys in the band. We also talk about his extremely interesting private life with his wife and their sexual exploits. And he was very forthcoming. And he talked about it because it's in the documentary. It's the first time I've interviewed him on the show. And he was so freaking cool. I can't wait for him to come back. He even said towards the end of the interview, like, let's do this again sometime. So I think he had a good time too. But the fact that when he signed on to the Zoom session to record that my name was Mistress Carrie, let's just say he really liked that. His marriage to his wife is a really interesting relationship. Do not miss this episode of the podcast, but I will tell you, like, it's on the fringes. It's pretty hilarious. So let's see. Bish says Everlast is definitely opinionated. Well, that's the thing is that and that was what he talked about on the podcast. He's always been opinionated. His music has always been about his feelings on the ways of the world. You know, he was like, anybody that ever listened to House of Pain songs, anybody that ever listened to any Everlast songs, if you think that those weren't politically motivated, if you think those weren't trying to affect social change, you weren't listening. And, you know, we were talking about how some people think that artists shouldn't comment on current events. And I feel very strongly about this because if you know anything about art history, if you took an art history class in college, art has been used as a form of protest for the entire length of human existence. Since art existed, like cave paintings, like there are hidden meanings in Renaissance artwork. I just went to the Vatican last year. Michelangelo protested the Pope with the colors that he painted the altarpiece at the Vatican. Like, the protest art has always been. It's always been used as symbolism in paintings. It's been in music. It's been in poetry. There were political statements made in Shakespeare plays. And so telling the artist to, you know, the shut up and dribble comment with the athletes, like telling people not to have these political opinions, usually comes from people that they don't agree with. But those same people never have a problem it's like being quiet when an artist agrees with them, right? So if you're more right-leaning, Ted Nugent and Kid Rock can have all the political like feelings that they want because they agree with you. But if it's a left-leaning artist like Bruce Springsteen or Taylor Swift, all of a sudden they should be quiet and just make music. And so Everlast was making the point on the podcast that it's like, if you think my music's not political, you're not listening. You're not listening to the lyrics. You don't have to agree with me, he said, but I speak the truth. And I loved the concept, and it's kind of like Kid Rock on the opposite side of the spectrum. These guys made enough money. They're self-funded now. They manage their own careers. They're not beholden to a record label. Like, this is stuff Kid Rock has been saying the last however many years that he has been campaigning for and defending the president, saying, I can have whatever opinions I want because it's not going to hurt my business because I own myself. I'm self-funded. I release my music when I want. I pay for it. Well, that's all Everlast is saying, but on the other side of the spectrum. He's like, look, nobody's going to tell me what I can and can't say. I fund my own projects. I make music when I have something to say. When I don't have something to say, I don't make music, but nobody's going to tell me what I can and can't say because I'm self-made now. And so, yes, these guys are... Yeah, Bish, exactly. Spoiler alert, punk is political. It's always been political. It's always been about social change. Go back and look at, guys like Iggy Pop and the Ramones and the Clash. Like, these guys were all making political statements, and that is what drives me crazy about, you get an athlete, right? A multi-million-dollar athlete that has political opinions. And if people don't agree with those opinions, they say, well, shut up and dribble. But when a rich tech billionaire has political opinions and he happens to agree with you, well, then it's okay. So it's like either everybody gets to have their political opinion or nobody does. I don't think any of us want to live in a place where you can't have political opinions. So the obvious choice is then everyone gets them. And we used to live in a place where I would defend your right to have a freedom of speech and expect that you would defend my right for me to have a freedom of speech, even though we don't agree with each other. And what's happening more and more is that one side is saying, I don't agree with you, and you should not have the ability to speak. And there is a fine line, and I will give you this, there is a fine line between having an opinion and purposely lying and misleading. Like, I read an article today, the Associated Press is saying that the FDA is purposefully silencing its own research to prove that the COVID and shingles vaccines are safe. That the FDA did their own research, and now the research that they did is not backing up the claims that they were saying that vaccines weren't safe, that they've done extensive research. The research came back, the vaccines are safe, and now the FDA doesn't want to release the research because it doesn't agree with what they've been saying, that the COVID vaccine was not safe and that it was causing strokes and like whatever. Well, the FDA just did all of the research and came back and said, yeah, no, actually it's safe, and they don't want to release the research. That's not freedom of speech. That's lying. And as somebody that works on the public's airwaves, right, there's a difference between slander, there's a difference between lying, and what's happening now, which is really weird, is that people on the internet can lie and there's no repercussions, whereas if someone that works for a more traditional news outlet even makes a mistake, then there's they have to print a retraction, that they can get fired over that. If they get caught purposefully misleading, like Fox News got fined, like 100 and however many millions of dollars because they were found to have lied about the voting machines, and they had to pay significant, those voter machine manufacturers sued and were able to prove that they lied, that the voter machines were working perfectly. And they had to pay like a lot of money. I forget how much it was, but Fox News had to pay and because it was slander. And the voting machine companies proved that they were doing it to hurt their company, which is what slander and libel is. So there's a lot going on with all of this political stuff with Everlast and all of this. Fat Mike is another one of these guys. He doesn't give a fuck. He just says what he says. He talks openly about how some of the guys in the band hate him. And he's like, whatever. Like, when you talk to people like this, it's almost shocking sometimes to talk to people that really don't give a fuck. It's refreshing because they speak so much truth. That's what Everlast said in the podcast last week. He's like, you might not agree with what I have to say, but I'm speaking the truth. And it's like, it's very interesting, the world that we're living in sometimes, because people can't even agree on truth, like fact-based stuff. Like, did John Glenn go to space on this date in 1961? Do we agree, can we agree on that? Are we agreeing on math? Are we agreeing on gravity? Like, where does the agreeing, like, we were all just cheering on the astronauts that went around the moon. There's a lot of math and science that went into that. So are we not agreeing on that? I mean, the doctors just took a kidney out of a person and gave it to another person. Can we agree that the scientists are doing like the things right? Or are we not believing, are birds real? Like that whole theory, like we eat them every Thanksgiving. What do you mean they're not fucking real? Especially my papa's bird, which he fucking had. All right, so we got to talk about a bunch of stuff. Episode 309 with Fat Mike from NoFX is coming out at midnight tonight. I want to remind you that if you subscribe to the Mistress Carrie podcast, you not only get the full episodes every Wednesday, but you also get the sit rep every weekday. And the sit rep is Monday through Friday. It is all your rock news, music headlines, entertainment updates. There is a minute-long sit rep that you can hear on Laser all day and on The Bone all day. The sit rep, sponsored by Kurt Deimer. The new album, A Grog is Born, is out this Friday. And if you're wondering where you can listen to the podcast, the big answer is pretty much everywhere. The audio episodes are on YouTube. You can listen on mistresscarrie.com. It's part of the Pantheon Podcast Network. Every radio station that I'm on has the podcast embedded on the website. You can subscribe on Apple. You can subscribe on Spotify, iHeart, Pandora, wherever you get your podcasts, you can listen. And podcast locations, 149 countries still, and holding strong. Draco says tomorrow at 10 a.m., Motionless in White is dropping a new song. It's sounding political. I cannot wait to see it. Yeah, Chris Motionless announced on his social media, was talking about it in the sit rep today, that the new album, their 7th studio album, is done. So there's definitely new Motionless in White that is coming. Eric says math is abuse, mental abuse to humans. I am not a math person. My dad was a math guy. My dad was not a guy that could spell well. He could not write well. My mom had that gift. So she would always ask my dad for help with math stuff. And my dad would always ask my mom with help, like writing, speeches and that kind of stuff, because my mom was so much better with language than my dad. But yeah, I did not get the math. I'm good with money, but like big fancy NASA math, like engineering math, string theory, like Good Will Hunting math. Shane says, pigeons. Birds are fucking real, okay? I can't take it seriously. So Shannon, I left this up from last week because Shannon Larkin has come out with an interview now talking about how his split with Godsmack was completely amicable, talking about how Tony Rumbola's split with Godsmack was totally amicable, and that Shannon said, look, I toured for 40 years. I was friends with Sully before Godsmack. That's how I got into Godsmack. I'll be friends with Sully after, but I just didn't want to tour anymore. He actually called himself Forrest Gump, that he just He's like, I just didn't want to do it anymore. It was so much fun. I traveled the world, but he just said, I just don't want to do it anymore. Black Sabbath and Earth. We talked about that last week, that Sharon Osbourne has got the Black Sabbath Earth rights to all 4 members of the band, obviously Ozzy's estate, and that they have not announced if they're going to release that or not. I meant to change the Ted Lasso to the Bear. If you guys didn't hear this yet, the Bear reportedly filmed a secret episode. So if you watch the Bear on Hulu, the Bear filmed a secret episode that is now on Hulu right now. It's just one episode. I have no idea why. I have no idea like what happened, what made them do this. It's probably Hulu trying to get all of the people back that ended their subscription when the season of the Bear ended, whatever it is. But there is a new Bear episode that's out there. Eric says, I have to do a lot of Goodwill Hunting type of shit for my job. Eric, I give you credit, man. It is not my thing. Bish said, Carrie, you said math wasn't on the test. William says, sorry I'm late, but hi to the War Room family checking in from here in Carlsbad, New Mexico. Badass. What's up, William? Fred says, birds are dinosaurs. Fred, totally agree with you. Totally dinosaurs. We learned that in Jurassic Park. All right, let's go through some of the concerts that are coming. Speaking of Springsteen, he's going to be at the Garden later on this month, but Weird Al, Maiden, Rush, Weezer, and Gorillaz all headed to the TD Garden. DCU Center has got Journey coming up on June 6th, the Silver Scream Con in October. The Rock Orchestra, the Arena of Fire, is coming up in November, which is pretty badass. Big Night Live has got Ginger, President, and Public Image Limited. The Xfinity Center in Mansfield, speaking of Kid Rock, will be there on June 6th. But everybody from the Crows and Whiskey Myers to Evanescence with Spirit Box and Nova Twins, Sammy Hagar, Hardy, Godsmack, Stone Temple Pilots and Dorothy, Muse, Train, Chicago and Styx, Five Finger Death Punch, Motley Crue, Tesla and Extreme, Avenged Sevenfold and Good Charlotte, Lynyrd Skynyrd and Foreigner. By the way, Lynyrd Skynyrd and Foreigner on the Pike, we're giving you a chance to text in and qualify for a trip for two to not only see that tour in the city of your choice, but you also get to meet both bands, which is pretty cool. Rob Zombie and Marilyn Manson, Seether and Stained, Baby Metal and Hailstorm. So tons of shows headed to the Xfinity Center. These shows are all up on the concert and events calendar, by the way. Seven Dust and Theory of a Dead Man making a big announcement today. They're doing back-to-back shows at the Hampton Beach Casino Ballroom on a co-headlining tour August 27th and 28th. These tickets go on sale this Friday at 10 a.m. But everybody from Post Malone and Jelly Roll to the aforementioned Motionless in White who are going, they're still out, right, with Bring Me the Horizon, but then they're going out on a headlining tour this summer. They'll be at the Bank of New Hampshire Pavilion in the Hartford Healthcare Amphitheater, Shinedown at the Mohegan and at the SNH Arena. ZZ Top, we've talked about Labyrinth, the tour with the orchestra. Rush at Mohegan, Jeff Tate at the Cabot, and then there's the Metallica shows at the Mohegan Sun Arena later this year to celebrate the Mohegan Sun Arena's 25th anniversary. Satch Vi coming up on the 20th at the Leaderbank Pavilion. Triumph, 2 shows. I got another Triumph interview coming up on the podcast in the next few weeks. Youngblood, Claypool's Gold, Yellow Card, Toto and Christopher Cross, the Gin Blossoms, Blues Traveler and the Spin Doctors, The Fray and Dashboard Confessional, OAR, John Fogerty. These are all artists that are headed to the Leaderbank Pavilion in Boston. Keith says, fuck pants. Bish says, Carrie, can't wait to see Alter Bridge on Sunday. Hope to bump into you. I will definitely be there. I've been texting with Tim Montana already because he is coming into town. And, well, the last time he was in town, he wanted the Mistress Carrie tour of Boston. So we'll see what happens. Eric says, who's the pants that you are talking about? You're cheating on me? Is this bitch even pretty? It's Keith, man. Keith doesn't like to wear pants. If he doesn't want to wear pants, he doesn't have to. Keith says, by the way, the Steel Panther concert was fucking awesome. They're amazing. Rodney says they took down Carrie's legendary Leominster poster from the spot. Look, I already called the city and I'm trying to get possession of my legendary Leominster poster. So I am working on that right now. But they swap them out like every year or every couple of years. So I did notice that I lost my poster. I was sad. Is Filter still touring? Filter is on tour with Alter Bridge and Tim Montana. Fenway this summer, Mumford & Sons and Fish. Palladium, Wage War, Black Veil Brides, Coheed and Cambria, Kitty. Taking Back Sunday is at the Palladium Outdoors. This went on sale last Friday. And Guar at the Palladium on December 9th. Those tickets are also on sale as well. Let's see. Roadrunner in Boston, Echo and the Bunnymen, Killswitch Engage, Poppy, Social D, and Geese. That one's in November. MGM Music Hall at Fenway. The Sabaton show from March rescheduled to December. There's Bill Murray. There's Emil and the Sniffers, Jimmy Eat World, Jack White, Rise Against. Again, all of these shows are up on the concert and events calendar. Alter Bridge, Filter, and Tim Montana this Sunday at the House of Blues. The Toadies and Local H, David Lee Roth, Dance Gavin Dance, Wolf Mother, Flyleaf, Lacey Sturm, Tomahawk, Dogstar, Howard Jones, The Pretty Reckless, Wasp, and Blue October. One thing I forgot to talk about in the music news is the cryptic post from Greta Van Fleet, who put up like a 51-second recap video of their live performances and then said basically like, thanks for all the wild times. And so there's a lot of people thinking maybe their band is either calling it quits or they're hinting at some new project and they're kind of screwing with everybody. So not quite sure. Christine Henderson says, hey, Carrie, sorry I'm late. What's up, Christine? Draco says, Bring Me the Horizon was badass on Friday. Bish says, Walter, get the poster back. I'm trying to get it. I want ownership of my legendary Leominster poster. Lita Ford, this Friday night at the Hampton Beach Casino Ballroom. I believe that is also up on the concert calendar. Red Sox win 10-3. It's nice that a Boston team is finally winning something. Seriously. Paradise Rock Club has got Big Wreck coming up, also Vertical Horizon and the Eagles of Death Metal. Did you guys hear, if you didn't listen to last week's podcast episode with Everlast talking about the Eagles of Death Metal show at the Bataclan in Paris, that show and the terrorist attack is kind of how he got connected with Yelawolf, who ended up producing this new album. The story is kind of crazy. And City Winery Boston has got Ann Wilson on June 1st and Stuart Copeland from the Police on his spoken word tour on July 9th. The Stage at Suffolk Downs, still no shows for this year, which is kind of crazy. New releases out this week. Black Veil Brides releasing Vindicate. Kenny Wayne Shepherd releasing Ledbetter Heights, the 30th anniversary sessions. Kurt Deimer, A Grog is Born, featuring Josh Todd from Buckcherry on this record. That's out on Friday. Linda Perry, Let It Die Here. She's the subject of a new documentary about the making of this album. And also Social D, Born to Kill, the band's first new album in 15 years. Those are all coming out this Friday. Mail call. Oh, all of a sudden the dogs just woke up. I wonder why. Got a card here. Says, hey, Wednesday and Friday, here are a few treats for you both. With an apology, I'm sorry I didn't send you anything. With Mom's treats, enjoy. Love, Denise. P.S. I added some treats for Mom. Happy Mother's Day, Carrie. Thank you, guys. So Denise, I will tell you that I already took my treats out of the box because I could smell the anise from the cookies at the post office. But on top of the treats for me, there are treats for the dogs, including Chewy and Crunchy and springtime snacking. So hold on, let's try some treats. Do you guys want me to come over here? Back up a little. Back up. Good girls. Hold on, let me open the package. Can you thank Denise for your yummy treats? You need to back up. People can't see your face. Okay, sit. You can't have all the over here. Back up. Sit. Sit down. Good girls. Good girls. Sit. Friday. Can I have your paw? Can I have your other paw? No, I want this paw. No, I want the other paw. I want this paw. This paw. Wednesday. Please don't leave crumbs on the couch. Is that good? Yes, say thank you, Denise. Sit down. Sit. Sit. Can I have your paw? There you go. Good girl. Christine says Godsmack, Five Finger Death Punch, and Stained Thursday at Welcome to Rockville. Richard Fitz says, shit, there are a lot of shows coming up. I know, it's crazy. There are so many shows. Eric says, Carrie, did you hear Ice-T's band Body Counts does a cover of Comfortably Numb? It is so good. I did see that. What's up, dogs? They said, Sherry says, happy early Mother's Day to all of the moms, the dog moms, the step moms, the cat moms too, the bonus moms. Yeah, I get to, it's bonus mom Mother's Day on Sunday for me. So absolutely. Although I will tell you that my sister and I kind of look at Mother's Day a little weird now since my mom's been gone. It's just kind of strange and weird, and you lose your mom and like, I don't know, it just kind of sucks. So thank you for the treats, Denise. I want to let you guys know that there is a new merch item that is getting ready to drop soon. I am waiting for it to come in the mail. It's a little bit of a novelty thing. I saw it, had the opportunity to get it, had them made. I can't wait for them to get here. I've been talking to the Backstage Pass holders about it, but they don't know what it is yet. They did get some hints about it though, and a lot of you Backstage Pass holders guessed correctly. I'll give you that hint. So as soon as I get them in, I will let you know. And then Backstage Pass holders, I was supposed to do the live stream on Sunday, and I will tell you guys, the Backstage Pass holders know this already. My shoulder is getting worse, and I took some meds for my shoulder on Sunday, and I passed out on the couch in the afternoon and like slept half the night away and woke up with these two like on me. I didn't even know where the hell I was. So yeah, the shoulder is killing me. But if you don't have a Backstage Pass yet, you can get them on Patreon, or you can just click the Patreon logo at mistresscarrie.com. You can find out who's on the podcast before anybody else. You get the exclusive live streams. There is a trip coming up next month in June. Backstage Pass holders, I got all the details on that, and I'll be taking you guys with me for backstage access on this trip. You also get early access to event information and exclusive concert ticket giveaways. This does not include the Alter Bridge tickets for this Sunday night that Backstage Pass holders have access to, Alter Bridge Filter and Tim Montana. So if you have a Backstage Pass and you want tickets to that show, you know how to let me know you want them. And a reminder about all of the places that you can find me on social and all of the radio stations that you can listen. And hey, get out of the dog treats. You can't have all the treats. And all of the radio station apps that you can stream the station on as well. And this is very exciting. I couldn't wait to tell you guys this. We have hit 5,500 members on the Mistress Carrie Veterans Rock Group, which is awesome. So if you haven't signed up yet, it's free. It's a public group, and it is there exclusively to share veterans resources, nonprofits, events, to ask questions about veterans initiatives. If you're a veteran-owned business, if you're looking to hire veterans, if you're looking to network with veterans, if you're looking to track down people you served with, if you have a veteran in the family and you're looking for resources and support, whatever it is that you're looking for that involves veterans, that's what this group is for, including the Veterans Skydive Boogie that's happening at Jumptown Skydiving in July, on July 11th. I will have details coming soon on the official after party. This is open to anybody that wants to come and cheer on the veterans. There are discounted skydives for veterans if you want to come and make a discounted jump. Bring your family members, and then there's going to be an official after party that's open to the public, and everybody can come to that as well. So I'll have all of the details on that coming up. Hold on. Let's see where Mr. C is. He's getting close. Almost here. So you can get all the details. This skydiving event, the link to book your discounted veteran skydive is all up on the concert and events calendar. So you can get all of the details there as well. Lost you for a sec. I'm sorry about that. A lot of veteran bike rides are happening this summer. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to ride my bike this year. My shoulder is, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to skydive this year. And I am losing my mind over it because it took 2+ years for this shoulder to heal. And now this one is jacked up and no naked skydives, Bish. It's nothing nice comes of that. So I'm throwing the kitchen sink at this bum shoulder right now. Physical therapy, medication, like all of this stuff. And it's really cramping all of the plans that I had this summer. So Mr. C just texted me and said, stop stalking me. So yeah, hi, Mr. C, says Donna. Eric says, gotta go, some asshole complaint about my Navy vet father and his support animal. Eric, no problem. We'll see you later. Bish says a Marine should know if you're early, you're on time, and if you're on time, you're late. Bish, I don't even want to hear it. It's literally like the tenet of my marriage. Trust me, I hear all about being on time and late like all of the time. So I was really excited that we hit 5,500 members. So if you have veterans in your life, I literally bumped into a guy over the weekend. I got asked to go out to the Gibbs Little League opening day in Sterling, Massachusetts. They asked me to come out and introduce all the teams. And one of the guys that helps to run the league, I took pictures with him in Iraq in 2006, literally 20 years ago. Hadn't seen him since. And so we took a picture. I put those pictures up on Facebook. And if you want to go and check those out. So, the fact that this page is growing is just making me super happy. So, it's 5,500 people strong is pretty spectacular. So, all right, brand new episode of the podcast coming out at midnight tonight with Fat Mike from NoFX. Don't miss this episode. It's all over. You think you know where it's going. No, you don't. You really don't. This episode's one for the books. It's freaking hilarious. I can't wait to see the movie. Cannot wait to see this documentary that he came on the show to talk about. So, all right, that's it, guys. I'm going to go wait for Mr. C to get here, who should be here any minute now. And backstage pass holders, Alter Bridge tickets on Sunday night. If anybody else is going to the show, I will see you guys there. And otherwise, I will see you guys in the War Room next Tuesday. Girls, do you want to say goodnight? No, they're sleeping. Good night, guys.